Hello everyone, it is the build-up show. Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, win or bust for the mighty Reds at Anfield. If, of course, it goes ahead, because there's always going to be some fear-mongering between here and there, and we're not resistant to it. We've had to get rid of Steve after the final word show because he's just too nervous about people coughing and touching the faces.
He's left the building.
He's just left the building,
yeah, he's just
gone off.
Covered in hand.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I'm sure this will all come back to haunt me at some point in the future, but we'll worry about the things that are in front of us right now, and that is a massive Champions League game. Ross Chanley, Atletico Madrid, under the lights, 1-0 deficit to overturn. This is living, isn't it?
No.
Shut up!
Yeah, of course, it's what you want. It's the biggest motivation factor you can have for, we've been there before, and I get the narrative of, we've had bigger deficits against better opponents and we've been fine, but it's not that easy. The game in Madrid was really tough. We knew before Simeone teams are very disciplined, well organised, very good at defending, very good at the dark arts. I expect more of that from them, which is fine for them to do, by the way.
Yeah, there's nothing. Look, again, this is the thing, is that, George, I was talking about Atletico the other week and saying I had a preconceived notion of what they were, and that wasn't based on watching lots of Atletico. It's just that you learn the general gist of what a side is all about and what a manager's all about, and they were all of that and more. Like Klopp referenced it about them having an interesting way of playing. He doesn't like it, he hates it, but he also loves a challenge, and that's what it's going to be. Atletico Madrid are not going to, having fought tooth and nail to get over the line in their own ground, they're not going to rock up to Anfield and just be like, come on lads, and start windmilling into things. They're going to come and they're going to look to defend for their absolute lives, and it's on the Reds to try and find a way to unpick them.
Yeah, and I think as well they'll be under no illusions of what Wednesday means to Liverpool fans and the Liverpool players. I think the atmosphere is going to be something that I don't think we've seen for a while, and I think, I think it will intimidate most of the Atletico side, but I do think the important players in there will kind of thrive on that, which is...
Well, we saw it in the atmosphere they generated. Like, there'll be a coach greeting ahead of this game. There will be. I've seen people trying to organise it. There just will be, because it's European night. It kind of happens organically in these situations. They had that. They had an amazing one for the Liverpool game. Yeah. They created an amazing atmosphere in the one there. And people can say this for all they want, though. Like, well, they won't be intimidated because they've had it. But there's just a difference between people jeering the opposition and people jeering you. Yeah. And as much as you like, even if we've seen the best players in the world come to Anfield and have issues in that kind of environment.
I think the other one who springs to mind is Diego Costa, because I do just think no matter what, he will love that. Yeah. I do think he will love that. Now, whether that then turns too much and he ends up getting sent off, or he ends up getting a yellow, or all that, it could work in the favour. But I do just think him being the kind of pantomime villain that he is will just thrive in that environment.
It worked for him last time when Henderson offered him out in the car park and he shit himself. I'm not asked about Diego Costa. I think he's shit.
It's not shit, is it?
No, I think for me, obviously it's a massive game, and it's these, like, we've never lost a European knockout tie under Jurgen Klopp. There's these things. I have every faith we're going to go and beat Atletico Madrid. The bit I'm not looking forward to is at the start of the season, when we were talking about our gamesmanship and how much we love it. I'm not looking forward to that now, because right from the first whistle, Atletico Madrid are going to try and waste time. They're going to be diving all over the place. It's going to be frustrating until we get that goal, until Bobby Firmino steps up and gets that goal to put us ahead.
Goal.
It's going to be one of them where it's difficult, it's nervy. But I have every faith that we're going to do it Wednesday night.
I just think it's a new challenge, because we've created those atmospheres in the past, and this is actually where we had real trouble back in 13-14, because we beat Man City and we put together that cauldron-like atmosphere, booing, jeering and hissing every single touch, and then Mourinho rocked up with Chelsea. It's very difficult to boo and jeer when you've got the ball. This is why it's an interesting challenge, Ross, is because we've got that. We can make it a really hostile environment, but we've got songs now as well. And what we've been very good at that is you boo and you hiss for a bit, and then you get bored of that, and then you sing a song. There's going to be so much on the crowd, and it's going to have to come from the players on the pitch as well. We're going to have to see some, because we've just not been as fluid in attack for a number of weeks. We've not scored anywhere near enough goals. We're going to need to see a display just something to get us excited, but it's going to be a lot on, you know, Spine Cop 1906 done a brilliant job getting loads of new flags, loads of youngsters who are out in force for the Bournemouth game. That, the whole thing, there's talk of the flags being out for the whole game, which I just think is absolutely incredible. That is our job. Our job is defined. Do everything that we can to make as much noise as possible from minute 1 to minute 90.
Yeah, I think the key you just said there was going hand in hand. Like the first 5-10 minutes is going to be the Liverpool fans, but then we need to see something whether it's just a, you know, it's a tackle or, you know, I think Andy Robertson's essential for this game. I think he's still in doubt. But, you know, you're talking about Diego Costa, who's the perfect wind-up merchant. Yeah. It's Andy Robertson. Go and get in the face and start winding those people up. And then, you're right, it's creative football. But I think the past fixtures that we've had, you know, okay, results haven't gone our way, but neither have performances. When we played low block sides, that's essentially what we're going up against now. We're finding different ways to go and do stuff like that. I think Klopp referenced the Man City game where they beat Aston Villa in Carabao Cup. He said, oh, phones going in behind. It was interesting that Trent did that against Bournemouth at the weekend. So, you know, we're preparing different ways to beat them and get at them. And again, you know, there's some players in there that, you know, haven't performed well of late. We still have a point to prove, in my opinion. What better way to do than do it on Wednesday night? Absolutely.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about who those players are and what we want them to be doing in this game in a moment. But first, it is the Football Index update. Hello everyone, welcome to the Football Index update. As you well know by now, they have given me £1,000 to generate a portfolio to trade on my football knowledge. The proceeds that we generate from this portfolio are going to go to a charity of our choice. Things were going absolutely splendidly. Those of you who caught up with us last week will know I took drastic action because I felt things needed to happen. And yeah, it's not going very well. I brought in Timo Werner. He's down 5 pence a share, which means we're down, look, not a great deal because we only have 19 shares in him, so we're down 95p on him. Salah down 40p a share at the moment. Neymar's down 58p a share. Trent Alexander-Arnold down 12p a share. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain 5p a share, and Gomez is just level. Right, this needs major surgery, I think, at this point. Or does it? Does it? It's the Champions League coming back. We've got Liverpool in the Champions League this week against Atletico Madrid. Mohamed Salah could just be the absolute superstar of this. We could see the same for Gomez, and of course Trent, who's the biggest dip of form that he's had all season. He'll I've no doubt that these players will come around, but it's whether they're going to come round quickly enough in enough time. And the Neymar thing irkles me so badly. But no, look, it is what it is. I'm going to ride this out for one more week. And then we're going to make, if we don't see a real uptick, we're going to make some drastic changes. So I need your help. Let me know some players that you think I should be bringing in the comments section underneath. Yeah, we're a little disappointed with this, but there's still time to go. While we're in the game, we're in the game. That's what I say. But yeah, I would bank, look, Salah's going to come good, Trent's coming good, Ox is coming good, and Gomez is coming good. Neymar, he's a big player. People like Neymar, right? That'll probably be fine. Yeah, and Timo Werner, he's been great all season. Surely that'll continue, surely. Yeah, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, check back for the Football Index updates next time when it's either major changes or major success. Yeah, there you go, the Football Index update. Fantastic people get involved with all that. And of course, get yourself over to CopCon as well at the end of the season. Yes, Georgia. Ross was talking about it before the break, about how, you know, there's players out there, we just need to get on the pitch. Andy Robertson, yes, 100%. There's a real strong case for getting James Milner involved in this game as well. But the one that's head and shoulders above it, the one who will have been working harder than anyone else, it's Jordan Henderson. Every one of us will be crossing every finger and toe possible to see that lad gets on the pitch. Yeah,
like we said, and we've said it more often, is that we miss him. And also, I think, you know, we argue, Milner did so well on the weekend to provide that, but to have Jordan Henderson back for a European game is just massive, especially when you look at what the game means and everything in account. This is the game that's crying out for him to come back. That being said, if he doesn't make his it's not the end of the world. No. Because we do have great that Milner's now back and we have that sort of replacement in there. But it would be a whole different dimension. It's one of those, we've been talking a lot in the last week or two in his absence, Jack, about that what he brings, and it's that being in the referee's ear, it's G'ing people, it's bollocking people, it's making sure everyone knows the roles, it's orchestrating the midfield, but it also, we damn Jordan Henderson with fate and praise a lot.
and we do this with Milner as well, to some extent, Andy Robertson. That Barcelona game, Jordan Henderson, you know, he should have come off the pitch by all accounts. You know, he jacked himself up on all kinds of stuff and went out there and put in a Herculean shift. This just might be one of those games where you actually need Jordan Henderson. You need Jordan Henderson, the footballer, as much as you need Jordan Henderson, the captain.
Yeah, he gives everything every game, but these are one of the games where he steps it up a gear every time. And I think it's one of them where it's integral that we have him on Wednesday. I think we'll be fine without him. Obviously, we're Liverpool. We've been good all season. We don't just have individuals anymore. We have a team. But I think it's massive that we have Henderson back on Wednesday. I think even if he's not fit enough to start, I think him just being in the squad will also be a massive boost. I think him, you know, if we do sort of get an early goal, him coming on with half an hour left to go will be another massive boost to get us over the line and get that second.
Yeah.
I just think him being involved in some form will be massive on Wednesday.
Do you know what else might give the crowd a lift? Arsenal.
Yeah.
They're playing Man City on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So people will have one eye on that game as well. If it comes through that, you know, Arsenal got a goal, or, you know, George Sefton says something at half time. Like, I think the crowd's going to be pretty wild anyway, but I think that adds a lot.
There's definitely. I wonder whether that's one of those things where hopefully we'll be far too engrossed in the challenge in front of us. But you're right. There's a potential by the end of the night that the league's almost done, and you've booked your place in the next round of the Champions League, which is absolutely mega. But the Jordan Henderson stuff for me, I think it's worth remembering. We've been far from watertight at the back, and you know, as much as we're talking about breaking Atletico down, you know, they're not the massive goal scoring force they've been over the years and what have you. But it's a goal from them, Ross. You know, it's an uphill battle trying to break that side down anyway, and that's the beauty of having someone like. There's a temptation. What I'm driving at is to get sucked into this notion they're going to park everyone behind the bus, behind the goal, behind the ball. Fucking hell!
Park the bus.
Park the bus. They're going to try stopping to score goals. And you might be like, we'll just put loads of attacking players on, but we need to make sure that we've got the balance. And I wonder whether Klopp will preference one of his European midfields, and whether that's got Fabinho in, I don't know. But whether he will forego a Keita and an Ox in this one, because he knows that you can't afford to give it away. You can't afford to fall short defensively or in attack.
Yeah, 90 minutes is a long time. These lads have been in position before, whether behind, you know, we said so much about Liverpool about being calm, collective, you know, constructed in the build-up play that they have. But, you know, Madrid frustrated us last time, and there was no answer. So it's about finding a key to get past them. I think you're right. You know, if Milner comes in, the Brexit midfield, I think I'll be all right with that, because I think you've got the experience behind that. The people went to, you know, a Champions League final, and then kind of cutting out on the maturity of James Milner in there. The issue is Fabinho hasn't played well recently, so do you gamble not taking him out? And Jordan Henderson, as much as we all want him in the team, he's not in the game time.
Yeah,
and it's a massive game. So, you know, there's a gamble either way. What you do there for me, I'd be happy with either. I'd trust Klopp to make the right decision, but it's a huge thing to say. Just chuck Jordan Henderson into such a huge game against an experienced European team as well.
I think the start of this game is massive. I think how this game starts is huge. I think we saw at the Wanda, the problem was Atletico started a lot better than us, and we were poor for that first 15 minutes, which meant we were chasing the game the whole rest of the game, and we played into their hands with that. I think if we can go in early, get an early goal, it sets us up perfectly for the rest of the game. But if it's a slow start, and then it might get, the atmosphere might get a bit weird. People might be starting to worry more. I think an early goal is pivotal.
Play Divock Origi, that's sort of.
It's a very interesting one to judge. We're going to find out what Liverpool's form is really like, and whether we are in poor form, or whether, as been saying for weeks, whether we've had an eye or two on this game. Because I agree with that logic. I think Atletico will come out fast. If I'm honest, I think they will give us 15 minutes, and it might be a case of we just hold on a bit tighter, and then we give ourselves the whole game.
I think as well, we've got to remember, the Atletico game they've just played was Sevilla. They drew 2-2. They've got João Felix back now as well. He scored in the game and made that return. He's got Diego Costa back now as well. The whole thing we were surprised with is when Atletico did score. They didn't offer much more after that. Yeah. In terms of you had Morata.
They capitalise on a dodgy situation.
Yeah, and you had Morata miss an arguably easier chance and things like that. Is he wasn't, and we were never really fearful of him as a striker or as him as opposing threat. And now you've got two other sort of, in my opinion, much more dangerous opponents, and they're much more of a goal threat. And I would say, like you were saying before, we can't go too gung-ho and, you know, we've got to get this goal and these are just going to park the ball.
This is the point. It's the Barcelona game. You walk into that going, you have to start fast because you've got to score. You've got 3 goals to score and you've only got 90 minutes to do it. Whereas, you know, okay, we need 1 to take it to extra time. You need 2 to get the game won, etc., etc. I don't disagree. By the way, Jack, because I think in terms of getting Anfield, you do need to start brightly. You do need to start well.
The one thing I just hope that doesn't happen is we approach it too tactically and we become this sort of, you know, at this minute then we'll push it. We're going to start then.
But the composed approach. What I'm kind of driving at, Ross, is I don't know that we will necessarily throw our game plan out the window because we played this season. We're calm, we'll time waste, we'll do whatever we need to do. I wonder whether we're talking about this like it's a big game, it's a big notion, you know, we need to go all in on it. I actually wonder whether we will. I wonder whether Klopp might just think, I'll just put a good team out and just tell the lads to do what they do.
The issue or concern that I've got is I'm fine with that being tactically astute and kind of slowing it down and picking your thing, but we've been lethargic for the past 4 or 5 weeks. You know, since the winter break, we just haven't looked ourselves at all.
And that's what I don't trust it enough right now to be that tactically, because I don't think that we'd step it up.
As the game goes on, if the chances of that happening for me reduces significantly. Like Bournemouth second half, okay, we were 2-1 up, but like, we just don't seem ruthless enough at the minute. You know, it's fine, we're creating chances, we're getting in behind them, and Bournemouth are a different breed to Atletico. But you know, those chances that we got at Madrid were few and far between. I think they'll come out fighting fast, but I think we need to be aggressive.
I think from a Madrid perspective as well, you're looking at this, you're saying they haven't got Alisson. So actually, if we score, they need 3, which is difficult against a low block team. So I think it's one of them where it might be like you say, they just want to score. That's what they want.
The Alisson thing's massive, isn't it?
Adrian made a mistake at Chelsea as well, where that knocked his confidence.
Yeah, it's just that Adrian's fine, isn't he? And we've seen it. You know, if we need him as a shot stopper, you know, he will. It wouldn't shock me if he's at the centre of this game. You know, whether he. I mean, I think about the Napoli away, pulled up one of the best saves I've ever seen, but we lose. You know, and it doesn't matter that he made that.
I do think he steps up in this game, though. I do think.
I hope so.
Because you saw it when he stepped in for the Super Cup and things like that. He rises to that occasion, and it's possible that, you know.
I mean, he gives a penalty away in that game. But.
I mean, but.
Well, then he saves one as well.
He's a hero,
He's fine. And this is the issue we've got, though, is that I'm not sure how trustworthy we can be to be rock solid in this game. So it might be a case of. And it's fascinating because we could probably trust ourselves to do our normal job, you know, because we have converted really well this season to being a possession-based side. So as much as people can say, oh, they're a low block team, everyone's a fucking low block team against Liverpool this year. That's how they are. We're not incredible at blowing those teams away. We're not like Man City, who are just built to blow everyone away. But we are very good at, you know, we know that a football match can be won in 95 minutes. It doesn't need to be won in the first 20, which is what we struggled with for years, because we blow ourselves out. We might blow teams away, but if we didn't, we'd be fucked. We'd have nothing left in the tank come the end of games. Think about Man City in the league 2 seasons ago. They very nearly turned that round because we had nothing left by the end of that game.
I think there's a temptation, sorry Georgia, of like, because we haven't performed well for the past 4 or 5 games, and loads of people, again on Twitter, have gone, let's just do what we did in 17-18, let's do that again, for reasons you just said we can't.
But I wonder whether we might just try something different for this, you know, whether, you know, as much as we can say, oh, how have we been building up to this game, I wouldn't be shocked to see Klopp do something different for this match. And I don't think Divock Origi's going to come in. I don't think, Shaqiri's coming in off the cold all
Shaqiri,
of a sudden.
Here you go, this is the one.
Yeah, not going to see Bobby and Mo sat in the stands of this one just for shits and giggles.
Because Paul said on Redmen
inspirational t-shirt quotes on, because that's what you need.
You still got that never give up shirt, Mo? Yeah, I am. Can you just,
I've got the game plan here. Right. You're going to wear a really nice t-shirt. But I do wonder, and there's options there, whether we do see something like, we're all convinced that Fabinho's starting this game, and he probably will, because he should be our best number 6. But it wouldn't shock me if Henderson... absolutely not. But it wouldn't surprise... we joke about the Brexit midfield. You could see a midfield of Henderson, Wijnaldum, Milner in this one, because he knows that he can trust those lads to do a job. Equally, it wouldn't shock me if Naby Keita started this game, because as much as he's been in and out constantly in the big games of football, and Naby's fit and available, he puts him into those games.
I think that the main thing for me is that the front three, 2 of them are firing on all cylinders, and for me, one of them has to be Firmino. Yeah. I think if he's on form and he is the Firmino that we know and kind of adore, him linking up with Salah or Mane is the thing that can change a game, and we suddenly forget about a leaky defence, or we forget about problems at the back because they're banging in 2 and 3. I do think as soon as Firmino is in form and he's got that partnership with one of them, it doesn't have to be all 3. We've seen that. That's the thing that can change the game.
Firmino's massive. We've been saying it for a couple of weeks now, and you were just saying it, Jack. It wouldn't shock you if Firmino broke his home duck this season in this game, because we have seen him. He does step up in the big games. He's the hero of the Club World Cup. It wouldn't surprise at all if this was the one, because it's there for him. It's tantalisingly close, but there's such fine margins at that end of the pitch that it wouldn't surprise if we're all ready to write Firmino off and back to, he's just a number 10 playing in a number 9 position. He doesn't score enough goals. He's got prize for this.
It's the old cliche though, isn't it, that he's not part of the system, he is the system. Yeah. And it's one of them things where when he's playing well, usually we're at our best. And that's what we need against Atletico. Obviously, he wasn't involved against Barcelona, and he'll be seeing this as his opportunity. He'll be up for a game like this, like everyone will. Georgia mentioned earlier about, obviously, João Felix being back, but I know they're without their fullbacks. I think Trippier got injured at the weekend.
Did he? Well, he played at the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah, he limped off or something, so it might be that actually that plays into our front three's hands if they've got 2 less experienced fullbacks playing, not their first choice. Might help us out there as well. So,
let's talk about what we think is going to happen on the pitch then for the Reds. Who's Klopp going to go with, or rather, who would you prefer to see us go with, Ross Chanley? The back 5 picks itself. Yeah, unfortunately,
I'm going the Brexit midfield.
Oh really?
Yeah, Hendo, Milner, Gini.
Interesting. And then the front 3.
And then the front 3. Yeah.
Okay, Georgia.
I go the same. If Henderson is fit, and when I say fit, I mean ready to go, I'd start him without doubt. If not, I'd simply just swap Hendo for Fabinho. The rest the same.
I think it'll be the same team that started the away game. So the midfield of Henderson, Fabinho, and Wijnaldum.
Interesting. The only thing that might be a possibility for us in this one is the Fabinho start. You put Wijnaldum and in the midfield, and we maybe look at how the game progresses, and you've got like Keita, Lallana maybe who come into the game. We saw this right at the start of the season against Man City in the Charity Shield. We did it against United as well, away from home. You throw your lads who are just more comfortable in possession in tighter spaces on in the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes, half an hour, and you'd absolutely go hell for leather for it. It'd be interesting to see the levels of conservatism on display, because, as I say, you can't win this game. I don't think we can win this game in the first half. Hey, we might do. We fucking blew Roma away. We blew Man City away. We've blown Porto away. We've blown all kinds of teams away.
Not done that for a while.
Barcelona, but you can lose this tie, I think, if you're not careful in the first half. So maybe.
Without a doubt, I'd like to see Keita or Ox come on. Mm-hmm. Just because I think them coming off the bench, and we've said it constantly, is just somehow a completely different player than them starting. Seeing them come off the bench would be great. The one thing I just don't want to see is Origi on the wing. Yeah. If Origi gets brought on the wing, I just think it's just a waste of
He's okay if he's got space to run into, which he won't have because they're not going to set up that way.
It's the argument of, and I say if I've got is Origi as a centre forward is a good centre forward. He's something that Liverpool don't have. And he's something completely different than what we do. So putting him out on the wing to be crossing balls in or to be doing things that Mane does well, that Salah does well, you want him in there on the end of the things that he's trying to put across.
Yeah, the only other one, and I'm going to mention this for the absent Chris Pajak, is that a shift to 4-2-3-1.
I was going to say that.
He loves a 4-2-3-1 shift, as that, Chris. And maybe you do something with Fabinho and Wijnaldum just to give Fabinho a little bit more of someone closer to him, or Henderson in that situation as well, and then maybe you go with you bring Ox in just and push him and say, right, you're not responsible for being box to box. I don't think he's been great at that this season.
To be fair though, this might be a game that suits Ox, a player that will just strike it from anywhere, just have a go.
Yeah.
We might be one of them where get frustrated and just need Ox to just hit one from 25 yards and get
going
again a bit.
That easy.
yeah, absolutely.
I'd rather him come on and have that impact of it being 0-0 and having him come on, or 1-0, we need that extra goal. I just don't see Ox. For some reason in the past form he's been in, starting, it's just not the same, and he doesn't really offer the same as he does.
It's our comparisons. This is the issue with Atletico, is all our points of comparison all against like these teams who come with ambitions of winning the game against you.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've faced a team at that level since Mourinho's Chelsea used to do it all the time. He'd do it with Man United against us as well, and they would often frustrate us. This is the mad thing, because I look at Oxford and think, but it could be. Look at the City games in the Champions League. Could have a real impact on these. But from the start, I don't know. It's a real challenge for
the first time since his injury. He's playing a lot of football. Recently, because of injuries, he's had to play more football than he has since his injury completely. And I think for me, it might be catching up with him a bit now, and it might be that. He just does need a rest, and he just does need...
But he's been that bad, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's been fine. He's been up and down.
It's just in comparison to when we see him as a sub and coming on, he always offers this just like burst of energy.
I think the point is that in the absence of Jordan Henderson, that was a real opportunity. Hendo's playing in his position. That was a real opportunity for Oxen. It's not entirely his fault because he's part of a system. You can't blame one guy individually apart from Dejan Lovren, obviously. Sorry, Dejan, it's not fair.
Dejan watching this.
Yeah,
this before the game.
But I don't think Ox has quite grasped it. But the beauty of this, and this is goes back to the Henderson stuff. Even if Jordan Henderson's only half fit, it's one game of football. You get by on painkillers and adrenaline in this one. You know what I mean? You can find levels that you didn't know you had prior to we've seen it again. Go back to the Barcelona game. It's a chance for some more Liverpool players to write themselves into Anfield folklore, and most of them are in there already at this point in some form or another. But it's massive game of football.
The stuff that he brings onto the pitch as well. We saw with Milner just before the game at the weekend of telling people what to do. Geeing people up or being in the ref's face or just organising people. I think if you had both of those on the team, I think it puts you in a lot better position. Mm-hmm. And the question is the creativity. But they're both, defensive-minded players. Well, usually most creative players in Robbo and Trent allow them to go get forward, and you've got, maturity, experience to just kind of cut out those counters you're on about.
I think teams have gotten in our face in the last few weeks, and I think we've shit the bed a bit, and not totally, but I think we have. And I've been saying this that. Have we had an eye on this game, whatever? Well, now's the time to prove that. The Premier League is, as much as we've been saying all this time, look, the Premier League's done, the Premier League's not done. But because of the Manchester derby, because of us getting the point against Bournemouth, it's 6 points now. 6 points from 9 games, we've got to take just to get that done. You can afford to play a team of whoever's physically capable of standing in the derby if you have to. But you've got to get through this tie. Yeah. You've got to give absolutely every ounce of energy, and that means we've got to be ready to kick and pull and not bite, because we know that can go wrong in modern footy. But whatever, we've got to give.
Modern footy.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, when you could bite someone without the referee.
I'm sure Dixie Dean bit about 50 people to score a goal. But but this is the thing. Old school footy, when it was, you could be. I want Liverpool to be nasty, and I think we've come up against nasty teams in recent weeks. Watford being the prime example, and I think we've cowered a touch in the face of that.
And
there can be no room for that against
I just pray for a decent ref this game as well. Yeah. Because he was wanking.
Well, it's European refereeing, so the point is they're gonna go with the dark arts, and it's gonna work because they love the dark arts on the continent. They love players diving on the minimal contact, and I want to see that from Liverpool. I want to see us be fucking scumbags in this game. I want to see us standing on Achilles, and I want to see us pulling shirts, and I want to see us rolling around on the floor like we've been fucking shot, and I want to see us time wasting just to wind them up and have them go, what the hell are they? Why are they time wasting? They need to go. I want us to do everything.
James Milner putting someone on their arse when it's about to go up for a throw-in. Like he did to Neymar. Just
going backwards.
Whatever. All of it. I want us to be nasty, nasty pricks. I don't want us to lead. Because, look, you can lose this game. We can go out here.
But be a prick about it.
No. But this is the point. But this is the Champions League. I think we've gotten into this thing. I think we've become a bit entitled because they've been so good. You can lose games of football. Anyone can lose a game of footy to anyone. That's why footy's boss. But we can. The Premier League is it. It's objective number one. It's the only thing that truly matters. And the point is, when you get to the Champions League, you get out that group. You can go out to anyone. You can go out. Brilliant teams. Every single team that's in the round of 16 will feel that they've got a chance of winning the Champions League. They just will. Atletico have been to enough finals. They know what they're doing. Simeone knows what he's doing. He will have one eye on that next round. Of course he will. So all we should ever expect is that the players go out there and they give absolutely everything. And look, we've come to expect that. So that's what we should expect to see. But yeah, them on the pitch, us on the stands, everything we've got. If you're around Anfield, get down. Get down before and come and have a sing-song around the ground, welcome the coaches, all that stuff. And if you're in the ground like I'm fortunate enough to be, do what you can. Grab a flag, jump up and down, twirl your scarf, clap your hands, boo. Anyone can boo. Anyone can boo. Even if you're in the upper Kenny, you can boo.
Even if you've got coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly. Your chest might be a bit tight, but you can still do it. Or don't. If you've got coronavirus, don't go. Because we don't want to be having this play behind closed doors. Anyway, yes. Score predictions, Jack, what do you think?
2-0.
Okay.
2-0.
3-1. We go goal behind, then Bobby gets a hat trick.
Oh, go on.
I've seen it.
Why?
That sounds good.
Yeah. 2-0, I think. I want to go full optimistic, and I want to say we'll be 3-0 up at half time because we are due to just smash someone. It's just weather. Every time I think that, that's pure optimism, not based on actual football.
That's Monday. Just a derby on Monday.
True, yeah. No, fuck it. 4-0 Liverpool.
Wow.
It's not. It's going to be extra time in pens. I'm going to go for it. Anyway, let us know your predictions, starting 11 predictions and score predictions in the comment section underneath. Do head over to copcon.org and get your tickets for that as well. That's going to be amazing. And of course, check out the Football Index YouTube channel. Guys, thank you very much. Big Champions League night at Anfield. We're going to be there. We'll see you post-match. Ta-ra. Hello everyone, Paul here from the Redmen TV. I'm here to announce that the Redmen boys are going to CopCon. Yes, from the 18th to the 21st of June, we are going to be in Las Vegas partying with you guys and with Liverpool legends as well. It promises to be an absolutely phenomenal time and the best place and way on planet Earth in the history of all things Liverpool to celebrate number 19 as well. You can join us. Head to copcon.org. Use the code RedmenTV, all capitals, to get a $10 discount off your tickets as well. And yeah, come and have a boss time with us over in Las Vegas with CopCon.